Good morning. Welcome to, I'm going to say One Lonely Farmer on this one. I'm going to actually blow your minds today. So, I'm driving a load of hay. I've only got a few miles to go before I get to my destination. And I just listen to, while I'm driving, I don't have to watch it, but I can listen to it, Cole the Corn Star. And you're going to hear something come from my mouth that you probably would never have expected. But I think everybody that's watching this video should go to Cole the Corn Star's latest video and watch it. Watch it. Put my name down. One Lonely Farmer sent me, because, you know, I know that Cole the Corn Star is an over-animated young man or kid. You know, I call him a kid because I'm old. And I've been critical of Cole. I've been critical of the family on different things. But I am 100%, 109,000% in agreement with what he just said in that video. There is nothing that he said that was dishonest, which I don't find him to be a dishonest person, but he is secretive, and there's reasons for it. I am as well. I am as well. But I think everybody should go watch that, whether you're farm-oriented or not. It was probably the most eye-opening video that he has ever produced, especially at the very end. Now, if you don't want to hear all the ins and the outs of what he's going to be doing on his farm, which I kind of agree that with him when he says this is going to be a one-off video or one-off series, no other farmer's going to do this. I agree with him 100%. I will not put everything out like he is going to be doing. Of course, he has some protections in there, and he states them, and it's amazing. But in the end of his video, and I feel his pain, because I've been saying this for months now. I've been accused of whining and crying and complaining, and that, I just basically, if you're gonna do this, you may as well just get out. I've been accused of being a downer, someone that is out of touch with reality. Well, of all people to be with me, and what I've been saying in the last few videos is that we're not going to make any money. As a matter of fact, we're going to operate in a loss. I haven't said that we're going to operate in a loss, but we are going to operate in a loss year. We will be losing a lot of money. So Cole the Corn Star, even though his numbers are very different from mine, I know what my numbers are. I know what I had to borrow. I know that my banker here will not lend 80% of projected income. They won't, because I'm a bigger farmer than what Cole the Corn Star is. I farm a little more than double what he does. Mine is a little more diverse than what his is. Wasn't always more diverse than what his farm is, but I am more diverse than he is. We have multiple markets outside of corn, soybeans, and some hay for animals, livestock. I have hay for animals, livestock. I have the mushroom mulch hay, which I'm doing now. But the end of this, the summary of this video and the summary of Cole the Corn Star's video is that he is going to take this entire year. This is what he says, and I believe he will do what he says. I haven't seen that he hasn't. I think that Cole is going to do something that will be so eye-opening for the general public, not farmers. We all know what's coming. But it'll be, if general public GP people watch it, they will be in awe, because he touched on what it would take to put those groceries on your table. And I've said this, as a matter of fact, there's a video that I'm in the process of producing where I talk about the expenses of farming. It's a rough talk. It's not, oh, here's my detailed profit and loss sheet. Here's what I can tell you it cost me to buy these machines, and things, machines and operating costs of the farm. I say it verbally. I don't back it up with numbers. You're just going to have to believe me. And quite honestly, if I did put it into numbers, I believe that my profit and loss would look a little better than what Cole's is. A lot better. For one reason, I'm older, and I've done this for a long time. The other is I didn't build an over $1 million or $2 million bin site. $1 million bin site, which is closer to $2 million, I think. Let's just say it's $1 million, $1.5 million. I know they overspent by $250,000 here and there. So, and they've got this mess where the bin construction people had screwed it up. Now, I've been critical of Cole's father and Cole on the videos that they've made on this bin site. I don't know the intricate and intimate details of this lawsuit that they are in over the bin site. My heart goes out to them. I mean, when you spend $1 million, and believe me, I've spent over $1 million in my lifetime, not all at once, but within 2 years, I've spent over $1 million with the, when sharpening a pencil and seeing where we're going to be. And I've won, and I've done well. I do not have the education that Cole has. I am not as anal about the stuff that he is, where you have projections. I write down projections, and I always run on worst case scenarios. He is running on averages. In my opinion, in my business, when I run on worst case scenarios, I feel better at the end of the year, especially when my worst case scenarios actually are, I come out ahead on the worst case scenario. So if I've made $10 at the end of the year, literally $10 at the end of the year, and that has happened. Mr. Pandy, I'm afraid that you've only made $10 this year in your farming activity. But we have the crops that we sell, and of course it carries over into the next year, and then the next year you end up making like $50,000 or $60,000, and you got to go buy something, or you're going to pay a lot of taxes on that. I kind of try to pay my self-employment tax, which is the Social Security and other taxes. We do pay taxes here on the farm. Yes, I pay a lot of taxes on the farm that most people don't realize that we do. And Iron Equity is not really a profitable investment. And he talks about investments and how he saved money, but everything that he learned how to save and budgeting and saving is something that I've done for years, long before I ever even heard of Cole the Corn Star, which is fine, because Cole's very different than me. Seems like a super intelligent guy. I think if I met him in person, he would probably not be happy with me for what I've said in the past, but there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, and he's growing up. He's a father now. He has 2 kids. I didn't know he had 2. I knew about the one, and but you know what? That's good. Being a father changes you, and it actually, I think, in my opinion, has forced him to grow up at 26 years old very quickly. If I had to do over again, if I had my life to do over again, I would concentrate on other things rather than chasing pussy. I can tell you that. I would not have gotten married until I was 40 years old, not 19. I got married at 19, if you didn't know. And, it was a wonderful marriage until the end. And I can say that, and I was happy. But all good things sometimes have to come to an end, and that's just the way that is. But there you go. But he has grown up, and I think that he's going to be putting a little too much out on the internet, but that's his choice, and it's probably for the benefit of others. I have put more information out than I wish I hadn't put information out, because it's cost me in the long run, and he is I think he's right for the way he comes up with his rental averages. He used the Iowa State's average rent because he lives in Iowa. And I just think he's going to do a really good job with this thing if he follows through with it. And I think he will follow through with it. By the time it's done, I hope his loss is not what he projects. Because when you have a loss year, like he said, you have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And I know what that feels like. Trust me, it is very stressful. But it is a good thing at times. When you fuck up, and I'm going to say it just as plain as that, and I have fucked up. When you fuck up and you don't market correctly, you listen to the projectionists on, say, the TV or even online or wherever, however you do it, and you're like, oh yeah, no, this is last year I fucked up. I'm going to tell you, I fucked up last year. I had purchased the combine and the heads, which were necessary. They were necessary evils, but I was listening to the grain market news and what was going to happen at harvest, and because Argentina and Brazil had this problem and Ukraine's wheat harvest was a problem because of the Russians killing Ukrainians and Ukrainians killing Russians, it was going to screw everything up, and it was all false in what I had saw and read. So I fucked up. So this year I've already forward contracted some corn and some soybeans, and I need to do some more of it. Like coal, we are projected to have a normal year, a normal rainfall in our area. Now, if you don't know, I am from New Jersey. Yes, New Jersey has farmers, a lot of farmers. Some of them are real farmers and some of them are pretend farmers. Some of them just woke up one day and said, I want to be a farmer, went out and bought a tractor, a mower, a baler, a tedder, and a rake. And they're in the horse hay business, cutting one another's throats because they have off-farm jobs. And off-farm jobs allows you to cut real farmers' throats. And that's fine because I've been through that before. And we will emerge victorious in the end because real farmers have skin like cast iron. We're survivors. If there's a problem, we fix it. If there's an issue, we deal with it. If there's a loss, it forces us to figure out where we can change what is causing our loss. And it's, in this year with the low grain prices, I think forward contracting now is probably one of the better things to do. A portion of your crop, I'm not saying all of it, because in the end you have to average it all out. There's things that we can't control, like deer. We can't control them to the point where we would like to, because I know that if I didn't have deer, I could produce somewhere between 60 and 80 bushel beans. And corn would be, on an average year, I could easily produce 170 to 200 bushels to the acre on the good ground. You have to maintain that land. It is more expensive to maintain my soil, and those are all numbers that I've crunched and worked out due to and I've talked about this in the past, but I'm going to end this now because it's like 13 minutes in and I'm driving and talking on here. You see that the sun has come up a little better than it did when I started. But if you do not like Cole the Corn Star, and I know there's a lot of people that call him Cole the Corn Cob, this is a video you would really, if you're watching my channel, this is a video that you really want to go watch. And possibly the whole entire series if he follows through with it. Now, I don't know if he's going to attempt to post a video on this every single day. I think he's going to do every other day, which I don't think is necessary. I think for what he is attempting to do, once or twice a week would be, in that series. I think that he should, if he does it, if he follows through with everything and actually does what he says he's going to do, it will be well worth the watch. Way better than anything I'm going to produce, I can tell you that. And people like to see. People like to see what you're producing, what you're earning, what you're losing in agriculture. And I think that city folk, I call them cityots because they're clueless. They have no idea. As long as they can go down to the grocery store and buy what they want for what they feel is expensive. The video I made yesterday was on beef, where you can go to a restaurant and spend $40 for a steak dinner on a half a pound of beef. A half a pound of beef right now, what's it worth? $1.50? You know, that's what the farmer gets, hanging weight when it comes to beef. That's why there's a big push to buy local, buy quality beef from your local farmer if he's producing beef, pork, poultry, chicken, eggs, whatever. It will be healthier for you. It won't be raised in a feedlot or a condensed housing hog or poultry barn. That it will just be better quality. My sister raises chickens. She gets stupid money for them. I couldn't believe what she's getting for them. They are the same breed of chicken that you get from Costco. You know, the Costco $5 chicken. You're not going to pay $5 for my sister's chickens, but I guarantee you that that chicken is going to taste one hell of a lot better because it's raised in a different way. And the chicken doesn't just eat and drink. They actually get some time out in the sun, and they get to eat bugs and other things like that, and be chickens. And that actually makes for healthier eggs. They don't lay eggs, but it makes for that particular breed of chicken doesn't lay eggs. They're dead before they can possibly mature enough to lay eggs. Now, don't ask me how this breed of chicken is propagated. I have no fucking clue, because I know that in 7 weeks' time, those chickens in the poultry houses, poultry barns, 7 weeks' time, they have to be slaughtered because their legs will no longer support the weight of their body, and it takes a whole hell of a lot longer before those things produce eggs. So that would be something interesting to see. But anyways, I'm going to end this now. Go watch Cole the Corn Star's latest video, and I hope you enjoy it, because I certainly did. It was the most open and honest video that I saw from Cole the Corn Star. Not that he's dishonest, just down to earth, none of this, welcome to Cole the Corn Star. That shit bothers the hell out of me. I can't stand it. He's 26 years old. It's time to put that away. You know, it was okay when you were 18, not when you're 26. Oh wait, 20. He was 20 when he started his channel, I believe. Yeah. And I do glean good stuff from Cole's channel, just so you know. Cole does do some very informative videos. And I, as a nearly 52-year-old man, farmer, have gleaned good information from Cole. I'm not going to lie. But he also talks about his losses and how he has made mistakes. Most farmers don't tell you that they've made mistakes. It's because if they tell you that they've made mistakes, that is, you know, it can be talked about at the local coffee shop. Well, I'm fortunate enough that I don't go to a local coffee shop, nor do I care to talk to people at a local coffee shop that are going to talk smack about one another. That's not how this should go. I had a big problem with the farming life a few years ago, because he lives in a more rural or farm community than I do. And he talked about, you know, he said things about me to me that, you know, I'm not going to lie, it hurt my feelings, and I thought he was off base. And, you know, I said some things about him, and he's like, hey, look, you're taking this the wrong way. This is how we are out here. And this is basically our coffee shop banter. I don't do coffee shop banter. It's not me. I mean, I'm from New Jersey. You say shit like that, you're gonna have to deal with me. You know, that's just the way it is here. We don't do coffee shop banter, but I'm sure all over the country there is coffee shop banter. I've been out west. I've seen the older farmers sitting in the coffee shops years ago. Now it's McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts. It's not like it used to be. That era of time has changed, you know. My grandfather used to go hang out up at the corner store where I met my wife. But he used to go hang out up there with the other farm boys from the area. But my dad never did, and neither did I. It just wasn't something we did. It just wasn't something we did. That went away as the older farmers died off and their children wouldn't farm anymore because, let's face it, farming is tough work. It's hard. It's intense. And not profitable at times. Like a loss. And when you farm in that loss, like Cole is figuring out, when you farm in that, oh, there's a Ford Lightning, a real one. Nice. Nice looking truck, actually. When you farm in that loss, it isn't made up next year. It's not in a profitable year. It takes 3 to 5 years to survive a loss. And when you hear how much he's projected to lose, most people would say, what the fuck are you doing and why? You know? Some people will say, oh, you're a lousy farmer if you're, you know. And I heard this on TV with my dad recorded it. He's got that TiVo thing or whatever on his TV. And you know what he said? This guy said, he said, if you're farming, this is the year to take the operating money, take the operating loan. If you have a deficit, pay that operating loan, budget enough money to live without ever planting the crop and take the year off, because you'll be money ahead by borrowing the money to live through the year and then just reallocating your loan next year when things should have equalized. Because right now here's grain and hay and here's the expenses, whether it's tractor parts, tires and shit like that, oil and stuff like that. They're here. Grain prices are here. There's a deficit. There is no way, I don't say no way, it's going to be super difficult to make a profit this year or even just break even. Because if we have a breath of bad weather, or we're not vigilant in when we plant and we fuck up the planting, like somebody gets a hair in their ass and they're gonna go out and plant in the mud. In my area, you plant in the wet, you will regret. That's just that's an old wives' tale, or not a wives' tale, just an old saying. Plant in the dust and your bins will bust. Well, that may be true if you've got 3 or 4 weeks of dry weather and you plant it into the dust. But if you plant into the dust and you get 6.5 weeks of no rain, your bins aren't going to bust, because that hurts that corn crop. Soybeans, not so much. The soybeans are tough. I mean, you can go out and roll them over with a roller harrow and come back and hurt them like that, and they'll bounce back and produce extremely high yields. So it'll give you a yield bump of 3 to 5 bushel, which I'm going to try it this year. I'm just going to take my roller harrow out on 10 acres and just say, okay, I'm going to roll half of this field. You know, so I roll 5 acres of it, and I will experiment that way to see what it does. My dad's going to think my cheese has slid off my cracker, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's a 15-foot roller harrow. You know, how long is it going to take? Hey, go roll those beans over when they're this tall. You know, damage them, and they will be like, oh shit, I've been damaged, I need to do more. But anyways, watch Cole the Corn Star. Have a nice day.